today. You know, sometimes you see things and you just kind of have to set the record straight. Set the record straight. So, and you know what? It's like, it's the industry. It's like the food industry, all these organizations, Diabetes Association, these big organizations, Dietetics Association, you know, because they're like associations and big organizations. We feel the need to take their word for gospel, but you know, they're giving so much kind of erroneous advice. And you know, okay, some things maybe we didn't realize before, like back in the day, we didn't appreciate certain things that were common practice and that were encouraged. But you know what? It's modern times, and there's a lot of science out there to, you know, tell us that so many of these erroneous things, and particularly I'm talking about food and all the advice and recommendations about carbs, and so much of this advice is just not good. It's bad advice and it's misleading people, right? And people wonder, hey, why are my blood sugar levels, you know, high? You know, I had one person reach out to me a few weeks ago, and she was talking about how, you know, she's pre-diabetic and she really doesn't want to get diabetes. And so she's seeing a dietitian, but her dietitian is telling her that she needs to have carbs, that's carbohydrates or starch. She needs to have carbs more, she needs to have small amount of carbs more frequently during the day so that she can stabilize her blood sugar levels, right? But she's been doing this and she's not seeing any benefit. In fact, her blood sugar levels, in her opinion, seem to be getting worse. In fact, no, I think she said her hemoglobin A1C increased a little bit. And so she's so concerned because she's following all the advice from her dietitian and her numbers are not getting any better. And she's like, and in the back of her mind, she's like, well, you know what? I kind of think carbs are bad. Like, I'm probably should be minimizing carbs, but like my dietitian is telling me that I should have them, but just kind of have them like smaller amounts more frequently to stabilize my blood sugar levels. So she's completely confused. Then I saw another post today. Somebody put, this one was on Instagram, and this is from, well, it's from Abbott, which is a drug company, pharmaceutical company. So, you know, a lot of conflicts with them. But basically, one of their things for gestational diabetes, right? They were talking about things to help reverse or control gestational diabetes. And they're saying, create a healthy carb strategy, right? Swap out refined carbohydrates such as white bread, candy, and soda for fiber-filled alternatives, which is correct. Like whole wheat bread. Well, whole wheat bread is not much better than white flour bread. But anyway, so that's not correct. Fruits and vegetables. I guess those are carbs that come with fiber, so yeah, that's fine, naturally occurring. And now this is the point. Keep your blood sugar steady by spreading your carb intake throughout the day. Keep your blood sugar levels steady by spreading your carb intake throughout the day. And this is from Abbott, right? One of the big drug companies, right? That is erroneous, right? Because if we're trying to keep our blood sugar levels, well, basically, keeping your blood sugar levels steady, if those steady levels are high, then you are still hurting yourself and your numbers will never get better, which is what this person with prediabetes who reached out to me was noticing. She was trying to keep them stable, right? So she's consuming more carbs, not a lot, so her levels are not peaking very high, but she's consuming carbs, so her levels are staying high, maybe not sky high, up and down, but they're staying high, but just in a stable fashion. Stable but high is just as bad, almost, well, actually, it's probably just as bad, if not worse, than up and down, right? Up and down, maybe you have the kind of mood swings and so on. But if it's chronically high, it means that your insulin level is chronically high. And that is what we're trying to avoid, right? We are trying to avoid persistently high insulin levels, because when your insulin levels are persistently high, the cells of your body start becoming numb to the effects of insulin. And that is how insulin resistance occurs. And that is how type 2 diabetes develops, or pre-diabetes progresses, or gestational diabetes progresses, right, to type 2 diabetes, right? So the whole goal, and this might sound a little sciencey, which I always try to simplify my things, but I'll just say the goal with our food, right, is to keep our blood sugars normal, right? Not low, not like high normal. Well, no, not high, but just not sky high. We want it totally normal. Like we do not want it peaking up, above 140, approaching 200. Even if it's temporarily, we do not want it going up there, right? If it's stable, yes, it's stable, but we don't want the stable to be above the normal curve, right? We want the stable to be below or totally within the normal curve, right? So this thing about, you're eating small amounts of carbs more frequently to stabilize levels, erroneous, because it's keeping the insulin high, and insulin is the fat storage hormone. Once insulin is high, you will be in fat storage mode, and automatically you will never ever be in fat burning mode. So our sugar levels should be normal all the time if possible, right? What you do if you have carbs, right? 3 main meals a day, right? You eat your carbs. If you're going to eat carbs, depending on your specific situation, you're very active, you need energy. So you have your 3 main meals per day, right? And what you do, you don't eat carbs alone. You eat the carbs with fiber, right? Fiber, healthy fat, and some protein, right? So the carb together with all those things is not going to be as rapidly absorbed, and so therefore you're not going to have the surge in blood glucose levels that you would have if you were to eat plain carbs. So again, these poor people getting this erroneous advice, eat carbs throughout the day, right? And they're eating carbs, just trying to keep things stable. So if you're eating carbs that frequently, and then chances are you're not eating it with healthy fat, protein, fiber, right? So it's just straight carbs to increase the blood sugar, right? But if you're eating it 3 times a day with your main meals, or 2 times a day if you're eating 2 main meals, and it's with other things, you're not going to have those peaks, right? So I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that. And let's see if anybody has any